On this video, we're going to teach you how to detach. This is 99% of the time the missing piece for manifestation. We're going to dive deep in this video and show you how to truly detach so that you can manifest easier and quicker. And all this stuff is backed by decades of neuroscience, energetics, and psychology. What's up, guys? Nico Rapkless here, and so glad to have you on this video. Like I said, 99% of the time, this is the missing piece from people actually manifesting, and especially manifesting quicker and easier. And I got it wrong for a really long time, and that's why I can speak on it now that I've learned how to navigate this, and I've applied this and taught my students and my clients this. And we've had clients that have manifested their multi-million-dollar dream home. Actually going to be doing an interview with him in about a week, but I've had clients that have 5x their business in 30 days after they start implementing this type of stuff, where they added another 80K into their business. I go on and on. They manifest their dream penthouse apartment. And we're going to talk a lot more about that type of stuff here on this channel. So make sure and subscribe. And in fact, we're on a 90-day challenge to help you become a magnetic manifester. And we talk all about this inside of our Skool community as well. So if you want to learn more about any of that type of stuff, links are down in the description. But let's talk about how to detach and how to increase your manifestations, making them quicker, making them easier. That's all backed by decades of neuroscience, energetics, and psychology. Okay, so let's dive in. One of the first things that you really want to understand is that how does manifestation actually work? Well, it's a 3-step process, right? It's knowing what you want, being in alignment with what you want, with your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. And then it's the last part here, which is letting go. Most people skip this part. They just want to go back to the affirmations and the doing and going and just continue to decide on what they want and affirming it and be in alignment. But until you truly let go, it's not going to work the same. Okay, this is an energetic principle that's standing the test of time, right? And this is based on all different theologies, all different religions. Like, it all comes back down to this universal truth. Okay, so let's talk about these universal truths, these universal principles, and this is the biggest one in this video to understand, because everything that I'm going to talk about on this video is going to be based on this universal principle. Okay, and that universal principle is that everything is equal. Okay, this is you right here, the money, the relationship, the house, any of the material things, it's all equal. Nothing is above you, nothing is below you. Now, what actually happens in this world that we live in is this is actually where it happens. So look at this. So again, this is you, this is sad you, right? And then this is the money, the house, the relationship, and you see this as above you. Why do we see this as above? Well, because of the fact that we have our subconscious programming, we have society, and we have our childhood wounds. And then therefore you think that you are below this, or you shame yourself saying I'm not worthy of these things, or you're idolizing these things, putting them up on a pedestal. But the more as you put that up on a pedestal, or you shame yourself for not having those, that is when you create this attachment to it. And a lot of people will say, well, it's more of a desire and you're affirming, but that desire is essentially the same thing as attachment. Okay, but once we are detached, that's when all the manifestations come in. Because here's what also happens is, if we feel like we're on a different plane, right, and we see that it's above us, the things that we want are above us, then we're screwed, right? But what happens is, what happens then is, like, we realize that everything is on the same plane, okay? And that's great, but what happens is, in order to lose that attachment, a lot of people do is they simply just do. They take actions. They chase after the money, the relationship, the house. And because they chase, what happens when someone chases something? It runs away. When was the last time you see a kid that chases a rabbit or a bunny or a cat or whatever? It runs, right? When guys chase girls, they run. It's a principle, right? When you chase something, it goes away from you, and that's exactly what happens with your manifestations. The moment you start chasing it, the more you start doing it and trying to go after it, it pushes away from you. And think about it from your perspective. How many times have you gone after money and then it just pushes away from you? I know I can certainly relate to that in previous versions of myself, is when I chased things, it just continually just kept getting away from me. So how do we actually... So what actually happens here? Okay. how do we feel worthy of this stuff? How do we actually start attracting this stuff and losing the attachment and rather just be detached so that we're all on the same plane again? Like I showed you, universal principle number 1. How do we get to this point where it's right here? Because then once we realize that everything is the same, and then whatever we want to call in, it just comes to us naturally. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, it comes down to universal principle number 2, which is you don't get what you want, you get what you are. Okay, what you are. And so again, this comes back down to what I talked about here, is that instead of going after these things, you understand these 3 things, right? Your subconscious programming, society, which we'll talk about here in a second, and your childhood wounds. But this is what we talk about a lot, is your subconscious programming. And really what that comes down to is your identity, because it's whatever that you truly believe down to the core. If you truly believe that everything was equal and there was nothing above you, nothing below you, that's when you would pull everything in, right? These are energetic principles that have been backed by decades of science. Okay, so like I said, it's not what you want, because you could say, I want this, I want this, I want this, and then you chase it and then it gets away from you because you don't feel like you think like it's above you, you've idolized it. Well, the key is to change your subconscious programming, your identity, and removing those childhood wounds and understand this principle that I'm talking about with society. But the more that you realize that and you just become the person that you truly want to be, and you become the person that actually attracts those type of things in, and the type of person that believes that everything is equal, that's when everything comes in. Okay, now what's the interesting part about this, I want to talk about society right here, is that the best business owners, the best marketers, the best sales teams, they all know this to the core. Okay, they prey on this, right? They say this stuff is amazing, this stuff is amazing. Until you have this stuff, you are not amazing. And they also increase the perceived value of all this stuff. They increase the perceived value, saying this is amazing, you need this, and they shame you for not having this. They create a bigger gap here, and that's when people continue to buy these things to try and fulfill themselves. But even they buy these things, they chase after things, they get these things, and they don't feel worthy of them, and they just keep on being pushed away, right? So it's really about changing who you are, right? Because think about this, like everything is equal. I know that kind of sounds maybe a little ethereal, but think about this. Think about trends. Okay, how many times is, at some point, like a brand like Louis Vuitton, that's really valuable, but at some point, things were in style and then they got out of style. Things were in trend and then they quickly came out of trend. Because they were in trend, they were highly valuable, and then once they dropped the trend, once they weren't in trend anymore, they weren't as valuable. So you can see that this is all a man-made construct. And think about this from just like Kylie Jenner, right? Is once you put a brand on something, it becomes infinitely more valuable. She puts her brand on lipstick and a $5 lipstick, and all of a sudden it's a $40 lipstick, and that's increasing the perceived value, and people want the perceived value, saying that this is really valuable, and then you're not as good because of the fact that you don't have that. So I'm sure you can quite understand that. So again, coming back to this, is that you don't get what you want, you get what you are. So it's really about reprogramming that subconscious. It's about really shifting that identity, feeling that you're truly worthy of that. And that's what is really powerful. So here it all comes to, it's like, okay, how do we actually detach, right? So you can clearly see that's the key. As long as you just realize and understand and not judge things as better or below you, once you understand that you are truly detached, that's when you are truly detached, and that's when everything you truly want actually comes into your life, because of the fact, and you actually feel good once you, because there's how many times if people obtain things, they've made the money, they've gotten the relationship, they've gotten the house, but they don't feel worthy of it even after they get it, and their life just isn't any better when they get these things. Because once you understand this, you detach, that's when you actually feel amazing, and that's the most important part. And then all these things come in and you don't even care about them as much anymore. So it's really about truly becoming that person. So it's like, this is the key, is detaching. So how do you get to detachment? Well, you come from a neutral state. Once you get neutral, that is when everything comes in, as I mentioned, and you feel great about it. So how do you get to neutral? That's probably the biggest question, right? How do we detach? How do we get to neutral? Well, here's two things. It's just simply understanding that first principle, that is nothing above or below us. We're all the same. Everything is of equal value, right? Just that principle alone is going to help you significantly. At the same time, from an energetic level, this is absolutely imperative, is that you get to a neutral state from a neutral level, right? And that's why we have these energetic clearings. We put these in our Skool community, and we give them access to any of our school members. But there's one specific energetic clearing in there that literally can shift your energy and clear you out in an instant. I learned about these principles and I started applying them. And there was one time when I was like having a little bit of a little heartbreak. And then once I cleared that out with this clearing, I didn't feel those dense emotions anymore. And you could apply those to money, and that's how we've applied and helped our clients a lot, and even just the people inside of the community. Once you get energetic cleared, because it's great to hear this type of stuff and I understand it, but until you energetically know it and it's cleared out, it can be tough to get to a neutral space. So I strongly recommend that you head on over to our Skool community. The link is down in the video description. Head on over there. We have got a bunch of stuff in there. We've got our really powerful tool called Vision Espresso. And that's really another tool to help you reprogram your subconscious mind and shift your identity, where it's a tool, it's an audio, it's custom audio from your future self, and it's actually in your voice. I just recreated mine yesterday, and it absolutely lights me up, and I get in my feels, right? I'm so excited to attack the day, and then I come and make videos and I have great energy because of that. So we have so many great tools in there. We have weekly calls in there. So strongly recommend you get in there. And then again, that's why we're making this 90-day video challenge here on YouTube. So make sure and subscribe if you want to become a magnetic manifester. Okay, a magnetic manifester. That's our goal in the next 90 days, to create over 20,000 people on this YouTube channel to become magnetic manifestors. Because a magnetic manifestor is the ones that pull things in quicker, pull things in easier. They're the ones that actually detach. They know what they want. They're in alignment with their thoughts, their feelings, and their actions, and then they truly let go. They practice the law of detachment, and that's our mission here. So for the next 90 days, we are on a mission to help 20,000 subscribers do that exactly. Eventually we'll push this channel up to 1 million, but that's really the mission right now. So make sure and subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Instagram. Join us inside the Skool community. It's popping right now. I mean, the first day we had over 100 people, and it's just continued to expand from there. So really excited for you to join the journey. And then also make sure and watch this video, because it's going to couple really well with everything that we talked about on this video. And let us know down in the comments, what was the biggest takeaway that you got from this video. And even if it's a small thing or it's a big thing, whatever it is, let us know. We're always wanting to understand our audience a little bit more, so we can make more custom tailored videos to help you in your journey of manifesting easier, quicker, and just with more fun. That's backed on decades of neuroscience, psychology, and energetics. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one.